What's up, people? I want to take time today and talk about something that this has been getting on my nerves for a little bit of a while now, for a little minute. And it's something that I've actually heard for a while. And it's pretty much has reached a point to where you just hear it repetitively over and over and over, just again and again. And that's black men want to be like white men. Now, I'm going to tell you something. This is mammy talk. But before I get deep into this video, as I always do, or as I do from time to time, I'm going to say something, and I know it's controversial. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds tinfoil hat-ish, but I believe that black people, either we're cursed or we're programmed. If we're cursed, there are entities that don't like us. And maybe those entities are making our lives overall better by giving us a bad existence in this world, so that we just live through a bad existence for the better in the next life. Or either the world is what it is, and it has a law and it has an order, and black people are just simply put underneath a certain programming. Okay, I'll bring that part to an end, and I'll explain to you why. This is such mammy talk. Now, what is a mammy? You hear the word mammy thrown around left, right, back, and forth, and eventually things always get to the point to where words lose their meaning, and it pretty much becomes that something just means that, well, as of right now, you disagree with me, so you're just throwing something at me. What you're saying has no actual meaning. What a mammy is, for lack of better words, is a matriarchal African woman who rules over her men. She was already ruling over them throughout many parts of Africa, and I'll be doing more videos documenting this, from the 17 queens of the Congo to the Habe queens and Bayadea in North Africa. I'm gonna be dropping some knowledge on y'all, man. I'm not just sitting here running my mouth. Trust me, man. I got knowledge. I'm not just sitting there running my mouth. But they be like, you want to be white, and let me finish explaining what a mammy is. I lost my train of thought. On the plantation, mammies were protectors of slavery. They were protectors of the image of slavery and the image of the plantation and the image of the overall institution of slavery. What a mammy would do is that a mammy, if you've seen the movie Birth of a Nation, there would often be large meetings in which white men would attempt to cast pitch his sales, so to speak, to a richer white man to get an investment for his plantation, so he could make his plantation into a big rich white plantation. I need more slaves, and I need more money, and I want to be like a rich big antebellum owner. So often many people had it somewhat of a lingering consciousness that us living as human beings and living off the backs of others could be wrong. Is this moral? Is this right? For us to live like it's almost like a host living off of another animal. We're reducing other people to a beast of burden. But what they would do is that they would go and get the mammy. And the mammy would often, they would dress her up and clean her up. And she would come and speak before these elite groups of white men with their sparkling wine and their French and European suits and dresses and well-dressed wives and caviar and other good food that other, typical people on plantations and white people didn't eat at these big, nice, extravagant meetings that they would have. And the mammy, who had, privilege on the plantation, would get up and justify that slavery was okay, that it was the natural order of humans, that white people are just naturally above black people, and that this is the order. There's God, the white man, and then the black man. Or either God, Jesus, the white man, the black man. Like that. And just in that order. And that it was the righteous order by divinity. This is what a mammy actually was. Mammies also yelled, hollered, and beat on their male sons and made sure that he didn't, rise to a certain level of accomplishment, and would call him names and discourage him from doing things like reading and whatnot. And if you look at black women in the modern day, they still resemble plantation mammies. Whenever you hear the allegation of black men and the so-called, and you're going to see this in the title also, proximity to whiteness. Now, let me say this right here. This is a completely female-based allegation. This is female-based. This is like what two women fight over. This is like, if you could just take race out of the equation, this is like two women fighting over a dude. Let's say you got 2 or 3 women in a polygamous relationship, and they're literally just fighting over a man's attention. Oh, you're trying to get close to him today. Like, proximity to whiteness, what are you talking about? Well, black men want to be like white men, and they want to date white women because they want proximity to whiteness. And it just makes you sit back, and it's like, accuse me of something that you would throw at a man. It's almost like you telling me to put on some Lee press-on nails and a fucking hair weave and go and fight over some dick with you. What the fuck are you talking about? Proximity to whiteness. I'm trying to knock this motherfucker off his square. What you mean proximity? Get close. See, that right there is a projection. It's a projection and it's a projection and an admission. She's projecting that, number one, she knows that he don't want her in no romantic capacity. This is why ghetto gaggers and like that exist. Well, she'll just be whatever old hoe to him. And the mammyism part of ghetto gaggers is just the mere fact that they don't say anything about it. That's the literal protecting of it. You see, the thing about it is that talking about Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, and bringing up every single living, breathing ill of a white man, while sitting up there, of a black man, while going to a white man and letting him rape you, that right there is a mammy on her knees doing her job, being a lesser woman that she knows that she is, getting in order and getting in line with his program and making sure that you don't get close to it. It's almost as if she wants to fight you over white dick, as if y'all are in some type of bisexual relationship or something. Like, what do you mean proximity? Proximity my ass. If an empowered man thinking like a man fuck a white woman, then that's one white woman that won't be having a black child. A white child. She'll be having a mixed child. And then if that mixed child get with a black person, because black women call mixed dudes what? Players. So it's just like this right here. As a matter of fact, pause this thought for just 1 second. Something literally just came across my mind. Freestyle way. Freestyle, right? When you think about the way in which black women will say 2 things, right, about biracial dudes. They'll say that either he's a player or that he's too soft, right? Like, let's focus on the player aspect as it relates to this video. And this is associated to this video, right? How does she know somebody's a player? What she's doing is a judgment, bro. If she calls him a player, she's looking at him and saying he's handsome. He's good looking. Most women would want to fuck him. He has the option of many women. We're not loyal to each other, so it's not like any of us are going to respect if he's with a single one of us. Hell no. He can fuck as much black pussy as he wants. Just like Jason Pope. You remember Jason Pope, right? Speaking of mammies, Jason Pope was the guy who fucked like 700 black women. He allegedly gave like 600 something of them HIV. I can tell you something. Do you think the rapper, the Baby, has even slept with 700 black women? Do you think that Steph Curry, even if he wasn't married, do you think Steph Curry could sleep with 700 black women? You get what I'm saying? Steph maybe could. Steph probably could. But the average dude, even the average hood star, even the average dude that black women are crazy about, he can't sleep with no 700 women. Sleeping with 700 women means that you perceive somebody within a caste order to be so much higher than you that he doesn't ask you for sex. He doesn't beg you for it. He doesn't work for it. Look, he just simply asks you for it. Look, let's go over here and take off your panties and let's fuck. Yes, daddy. Let's go. There's no resistance at all. Okay? That's what I call snap finger pussy. He's just snapping his finger and pointing to a bed. I'm talking about Jason Pope. But that's what I'm talking about. You know, like the stuff that they say toward black men, like you want to be white. And what does that mean? Do black men buy blue contact lenses? If you see a black man with blue contact lenses, he's probably gay. Do black men fade their hair blonde? Not really. I mean, you'll see like football players. If you're out on the West Coast, you'll probably see some old surfer niggas out there in San Diego, or some surfer brothers out there in San Diego or somewhere with their hair faded blonde. But black men don't fade their hair blonde, really. Do black men try to talk white? No. Black men call each other gay and accuse each other of sounding funny if you sound a little bit too white. Is there anything, when you look at a white man, is there anything like, when you look at Shannon Sharpe on the Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless show, what it's called? I forgot what it's called, but Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless are even Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman. Is there anything that you think Steve Smith is trying to do to imitate Max Kellerman? Or is Stephen A. Smith just his own type of dude? Is there anything whatsoever that you perceive Shannon Sharpe is doing in which he's trying to be Skip Bayless? I mean, do you see it? Is it there? I don't see it. So what are they saying? They're saying that you're trying to be powerful. You want to be the man in charge. And what is she admitting? She's admitting that she's protecting his white power. And that proximity is that you're getting too close to it. You see, you can literally tell by listening to these mammies, these true mammies, that what they've done is that they've been gathered up like cows on a ranch, and they've been placed. This is what happened. The welfare, underneath welfare in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, that pretty much destroyed the black family. When they reformed welfare, because they never got rid of it, they just reformed it, and they put them in colleges, basically. And what they did with these colleges is that these colleges, all this stuff that you're hearing right now, all this Me Too and she's a pick me, all that stuff, like most black people, and there's a reason why, like you can probably tell just by how I sound. I'm a real country sounding dude, man. I admit that. I'm from the deep South. I was born in Mississippi. I live my life now between Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida. You know, I'm headed to Florida in a couple of days, as a matter of fact. You know, like the north part of Florida, not the south end, but more the north part. You know, but the north part is nice too. But yeah, man, these motherfuckers are protectors of the system, man. They protectors, and if you try to get close to it, she's gonna. And like I was saying, I lost my train of thought, but I was blessed about 3 years ago I just happened to wind up in Minnesota. I was dating some women online. I ain't gonna admit, and fucking around with that online dating carried me all the way to Minnesota, man. And even though the relationship didn't work out between me and the woman, at least the first woman, I wound up being there almost 3 years. So I got a very good, and I'm telling you, I got a very good taste of extreme liberal leftist Marxist socialism and the stuff that comes along with it. Look, if you take these feminist women from campuses like the University of Minnesota and Northwestern, man, these feminist women will brainwash black women. Number one, they view black women as lesser than. And one thing that I'll say is that many white women are kind of like the ultimate woman that talks shit about your man, but she'll take him and fuck him. Because about 1 in 5 or 1 in 4 black men in the state of Minnesota is with a white woman. So for all this talking about black men this and black men that, they'll definitely get with a nigga with the quickness, especially a tall black man, because there's something that goes on among them. A large numbers of Minnesota Viking ass women, they tall as hell, and their men, many of their men are slightly intimidated by him. They call him Bigfoot, or they'll call her Seti. Shit, but a nigga will take her ass with the quickness. And ain't nothing wrong with her. She's tall and beautiful. That motherfucker be beautiful. She just be tall as hell. But she's beautiful. But a nigga will take her with the quickness. You know what I'm saying? And then the white boy turn around and get mad, because he want to talk about her and just devalue her. But a nigga will look at her as a diamond. But at these colleges, this is like all this pick me and all this stuff you hear, even the whole divestment movement, that's a white feminist operation. Even the word divestment itself, that's like a term. And like the term Blackistan. The term Blackistan, it's the same thing with that word. That means you've been in the presence of Jews. Basically, all that Afghanistan, Pakistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, stand, or to stand somebody. The term stand literally shouldn't even be in the name of a nation's title. It's a mocking word. It means you're a fanboy, or that you're the antithesis of something. Like the Palestinians would always say, we don't want a Bantustan. And what they would be talking about is that they didn't want these little cities that were formulated like black people in South Africa. You get what I'm saying? That's what a Bantustan were. They were a bunch of little impoverished shanty towns. And that's what they were saying. You would always hear Yasser Arafat and the other Palestinians say that they don't want a Bantustan. You don't get what I'm saying? It's stan. That means that you've got Semitics that are deep in your politics. And I can straight up tell you, just by the language I hear black women using, you've got feminist, white, Marxist, socialist women, and just downright racist white women. And you also have a Semitic element that is in there also, controlling and manipulating. As a matter of fact, Crystalline Karazine's first husband was J-ish, But yeah, man, I just wanted to hit on this whole proximity to whiteness. And black men want to be like white men. This shit is just so ridiculous. And what it says is this right here. There are dozens, if not hundreds of languages around the world that simply call black people slaves. And black people can't figure it out. If you're not really a free-minded person, keep one thing in mind. Harriet Tubman said that she could have freed more black people if they knew they were slaves. So what I'm saying is this. You can so completely naturally just conform to something and be a certain way that you would never even know it, really, unless somebody consciously told it to you. I can honestly say, I hate to have to say it this way, most black people function and operate like total perfect slaves. This is part of the reason why I say fuck reparations. Fix your mind. Your mind would be better than a 2, 3, 400. Fixing your mind would be a superior act better than a $200,000 or $300,000 check. Because if we would fix our minds, we could start easily making, the basic nigga in America would probably be able to make 60, 70 racks a year. If we would fix our mind, 2/3 of black men could easily get into the $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 range. And then a certain number of those are going to just flat out break off and become business owners and start making 2, 3, 4, 500,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? That's if you would fix your mind. But to hell with a reparation check. What a reparation check do is tell you, well, everything that was done to us was wrong, and we don't have to look at ourselves in no shape or way, when the truth is you really need to take a close look at yourselves, man, because Negroes, I'm telling you, you function like total, absolute, and complete slaves. We just do. And I hate to have to say it. Proximity to whiteness. You want to be white. This is straight up mammy talk, man. It's mammy talk. And every other race of people can see it. I mean, I used to be a Muslim, and you would hear it all the time from the Arabs. Like, they're just general name. Like, they'll be like, hey, Habib. You know? It's like Habib means slave. Like, that's your basic name. Like if you're around an Arab, that's what you're going to be called as a black man. Like, hey, slave. Like, every other man will look at you and say, dude, y'all don't take these big masculine women and put them under control. Like, dude, not only are you a race of simp-ass bitches, nigga, you's a goddamn slave. Your woman gets a whole lot of out of you with nothing, and you don't get nothing in return. You're a man who does, but doesn't receive anything. That is by default a slave. That's how other men look at it. That's how real men should always look at it. Like, this dude is completely abnormal, Habib. I mean, Abu. Look at him. I mean, he doesn't get anything. He begs and pleads with his woman. I mean, she's big, loud, and nasty. She's not going to be that way with me. You know, but they're just entertainment to look at, Habib and Abu. You know, come here, Muhammad. Look at her. She got a hand on her hip just doing that old neck rotation thing. Look at how they talk to him. Like, you all would look like a joke. Like, for example, Muhammad will just bust her ass in the jaw. And he don't care nothing about her crazy brothers. That's not how his culture works. If she run home to her brother and start screaming, Muhammad beat me, her brothers are going to beat her ass too. Now get your ass back to your husband. And don't make us have to pay no dowry back to his family. Fuck out of here. But black men go running their ass across town committing crime. You know, like all this stuff that you see in the hood, man, all this stuff is unmarried culture. Cultures of people that are uncommitted to each other. That's all that any of it is. All these dudes, half of this crime that is committed is dudes fighting over women and dudes fighting over shit that is just about whole shit. Just like that shit with Dolph, with young Dolph. Whole shit. Jealousy. And see, this is why your women accuse you just like they talk to you just like a bitch. Because she done made you just like a bitch. That's not even the type of stuff, like, for example, look at all the rich and popular Latino artists. Look at all the rich and popular country artists. Don't nobody get jealous of a person just because they done got rich and they on TV and they done got some fame. You just congratulate the dude and be happy when he come back to his hometown to do a show. But you are just like that's why she accuses you of wanting to be a white man. Because she knows that she's made you into a bitch. It's an effeminate accusation. This jealousy killing, like what you see among these rappers, and don't get me wrong, I don't give a shit what's going on in the world of hip hop. I'm concerned about it, but overall, I don't give a shit. But it's like this. All that shit, Nipsey Hussle, King Von, FBG Duck, Young Dolph, Tupac, Biggie, all of that shit, it's jealousy. She makes you just like her. Coming up in these single mother homes, you're just like a woman. There's no man there. You can only be like a woman. And she steady reproduces. A woman sitting up there reproducing with a man that effeminate. Man, look, black women just got on weave. They just got on eyelashes. Dude, you have to look at a person as what they are underneath all of that. And underneath all of that, that is a gender neutral male with a damn hole between his legs. If you look at these effeminate dudes out here, man, these women be fucking these effeminate dudes. And you're just going to have a more and more and more. If the black race is still around 50 years from now, you're not even going to have men and women. You're just going to have an existence of gender. I don't know what you're going to be. Gender neutralians. There's going to be no clear men and no very extremely clear women. There'll be clear distinction of genitalia, but there's not going to be any difference in roles. There's not going to be any difference in what you all are. She don't even accuse you of man type things. Well, don't be a terrorist, baby, and go out there and blow up anything. No, they want to be white, and you want to get with a white woman for proximity. Like, get the fuck out of here. If I get a white bitch pregnant, that's a white bitch that ain't having no white baby. Let their very own. See, the thing of it is, black people don't even know how to think in power. You sitting up crying about a one-drop rule. A one-drop rule could be the death of them. But instead, you'd rather squabble. I'm going to make that into a separate video because I'm getting off topic, man. Let me go ahead and shut this down. Oh, my God. You know I could just go on and on, man. Boy, I could just go on and on. And I'm going to do a separate video on how to make the one-drop rule work for us. Because if a black woman accuses a mulatto male, just like I was saying earlier, of being a player, what the hell is she admitting? They all got their legs open to a dude like that. So what's the use of bitching and complaining about the one drop rule for a bunch of motherfuckers who you willing to fuck at the drop of a hat? You niggas are silly. That ain't nothing but internet inferior brain tribalism. And being able to have a consciousness on the internet to know exactly what you're doing in the context of the internet gives you in the modern day a very superior mind, bro. You know, the one drop rule is some internet shit. That shit, all that little hatred of the one drop rule, that shit disappears the very second you put your laptop down. You always see some light-skinned ass girl with some big black ass nigga, and you forever most see some Negroes running around after mixed chicks and biracial females. The majority of them are so Negrofied, you can't even tell she's actually half white. You'll be surprised that a lot of these bras with white mamas. I'll be like, damn, bitch, I ain't know your mama was white. Act like a straight up nigga. But anyway, let me go ahead and shut this video down, man. Proximity to whiteness. Get the fuck out of here. Get the hell out of here with that garbage, man. I'm out. Proximity. Get the fuck. Get out of Dodge. What a bunch of gay. That's like a straight gay allegation.